Well, we haven't done one of these in a minute, and because we're doing it, you might have already assumed what's coming, also based on the title of this video. And this is not the video I wanted to make, or he wanted to sit down and join me to make. But here we are. We have a bit of a life update, Kyle update for you. For the last 8 months, we have just relished in Kyle improving every single day. He's gotten stronger, his speech has improved, he's able to hike longer and longer distances. We've been able to start running together. He's able to have some autonomy back and start to drive again and be able to manage his medicine a little bit. And so this came kind of as a surprise and a shock for us. I got home from my retreat on Saturday, and that following Tuesday, Kyle had his MRI scheduled. And I'm very glad that I scheduled it for after the retreat so that I could fully enjoy it while things were good and normal. Because unfortunately, that MRI showed some new enhancement. There was some enhancement showing up on the scan 3 months ago, but it was very small, and they were just going to keep an eye on it because it was fairly insignificant. It looked like it was just potentially like a flare. It might not be anything. And he got the scan on Tuesday, and we weren't able to meet with the neurosurgeon till Friday to review that scan. And unfortunately, they allow you to review your scans via the patient portal. And we, meaning I, was very like, okay, we're not going to look at it. But unfortunately, 2 other people from the retreat, their spouses also had scans right on the same day or the day after Kyle's. And they were getting their results, and they weren't getting good news. And so it made me very anxious for what Kyle's scan said, and I just wanted to look out of hope that it was good news. And in my gut, I knew that it wasn't, based on like the situation. And before I left, I just had this gut feeling that like the other shoe was gonna drop. And so we looked at the report, and it said, we're the little like thing at the bottom that's like the impressions that's written in layman's terms, said worrisome signs of progression. So then we had to sit with that for 2 days before we met with the surgeon, and just was like a gut punch. It was not what we expected, but also I think in my gut I kind of knew, which is a real bummer. And so on Friday that week, we met with Dr. Smith, who did Kyle's surgery in September. And I'm just we are beyond grateful for him and having found him to be a big part of our team, because we sat down and we were like, okay, what does this mean? We've already read the report. And he pulled up the images, and sure enough, there is a spot that has grown. It's reading just under 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters. So I don't know what that is, like that big maybe. And he said, I'm not thrilled about this, but I'm also not overly concerned. He said there's a 50-50 chance that it's progression of tumor, that the tumor's returned, or it is treatment effect from the radiation seeds that were implanted. So I take that as necrosis. The tissue is dying. So we have a 50-50 chance of what it could be. And thankfully, Dr. Smith came with a plan, and that was very reassuring. And that plan is that Kyle's having brain surgery on June 25th. It's not a craniotomy.
Yeah.
It is this procedure called LITT, L-I-T-T. It's an acronym. It is, I believe, a fairly newer surgery. It's not very common, like not all brain surgeons are doing this. So the way that it works, I'm going to pull up the little written thing because I don't want to get this wrong. It is a minimally invasive procedure that uses a laser heat to destroy abnormal brain tissue. They insert like this small needle through the scalp into the brain directly to the spot. And then they're taking a biopsy, and then they treat it, and they're doing this procedure in an MRI. And it says, real-time MRI is used to monitor the temperature of the brain tissue, ensure the laser is focused on the targeted area. That's above my pay grade. So if you are interested, I would do a Google deep dive into what this is. But in a nutshell, they're going to insert a needle into Kyle's head so that there's just going to be a small little incision, and then use a laser to, well, first they'll take a biopsy, and then so they can determine, and then they're going to use a laser to clear that out. And we did not say this, but the spot is in the same spot where his tumor was, in the left frontal lobe, and it's further towards the midline. So there is some concern, like we don't want that pressing against the midline. So he's like, I want to create a really defined barrier so that, you know, you're not having growth across the midline.
Yeah.
So that's part of the plan with this surgery. It's a fairly like quick procedure. He will have the surgery on June 25th, and we are able to come home on the 27th, which is insane to me. You only stay one night in the hospital just for observation, and they said in over 100 surgeries like this that they've done, they've only had one patient have to stay an extra night, and that was just kind of very unexpected. So we will be coming home on the 27th, which is insane to me, but this was very unexpected. We were literally about to leave on a 2.5 week road trip. Leave today, actually, the day that we are filming this, and we've had to just shift all our plans around because we don't want to be gone all of June, and we want Kyle to have some time to just like rest before this. Yeah, Kyle says this is a great thing.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
Great would have been that there was no progression, but it is great that there's a plan.
Yes.
And there's something that we can do before it becomes something.
Yes.
And if it is tumor progression, then we have kind of a game plan what will happen after surgery. He might get Optune back on. It's also a possibility that Optune is not a possibility based on his scalp and it being too sensitive to be able to wear it. But that's potentially a possibility. There are some chemotherapies that he could try. They tested the tumor from September against these different chemotherapies to see how the tumor tissue reacted, and based on how they react, it determines if it might be a more effective treatment than another chemotherapy. His tumor tissue positively reacted, which means the tumor cells died. And to, I think it might have been 5 or 6 different chemotherapies, and some are like not commonly used for brain cancer, or they're newly being used in trials or experimental. So that might be an option. We're not really sure. We're going to cross that bridge when we get to it at the end of this month and when we do the post-op in early July. It's been a whirlwind. We're trying to figure out the logistics of traveling to Arizona and all of that, and the financial burden of all of this, because it's very unexpected and we were not planning all of this. Yeah, it's a bit of a gut punch, but we are going to face it, move through it, and then hopefully we can get back into a rhythm of relishing cancer being a smaller part of our life and not the largest part of our life. And it was nice to relish in that for the last 8 months.
Besides, we're getting like some nice food.
Yeah, Kyle's just seeing the positives. We get to go to Arizona, although it's going to be like 115 degrees, so that is a downside. We're going to be inside the whole time. But there's really good food in Phoenix, so we will enjoy that. And we liked Phoenix when we've gone.
Yeah.
So it'll be a nice just little vacation involving some other things. Anything you want to say or add?
No, just I cannot wait for the food. And I think this surgery is going to be fairly easy.
Kyle's like, it's just brain surgery.
Yeah. It's going to be easy. There's only 1 day of your recovery, and then off to home.
Yeah, they said that the most common symptom after the surgery is headaches, just from like a little bit of swelling and inflammation from them sticking something into your head. And they can give you a short dose of steroids to kind of minimize that. But that's really the only side effect, like,
Yeah.
which is great. The full recovery is 2 weeks to like fully resume all activity, which is also not bad. And I'm thinking of this now. Actually, I thought of it a couple days ago, but it's like really hitting me. Is like, this is going to be so much different because you're not getting the radiation seeds implanted, that like I can touch him and hug him and kiss him, and I don't have to wait like 3 weeks, I think it was.
2 weeks. I mean,
I think it was 3 weeks that I wasn't able to like even be close to him. We weren't able to sleep in the same bed. So that will be very helpful.
That hurt.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was a struggle.
They said that it wasn't going to be, I mean, it said that it was going to be hard, but I was like, no, it won't.
That was the hardest part, I think, of that whole recovery, because it brought up a lot of emotions for Kyle, and so he would just be sitting there crying, and I can't physically comfort him.
Oh my gosh.
It was just like so hurtful, so painful. And also to just like hug him and kiss him and celebrate that the tumor was removed. Like, we couldn't do that for 3 weeks. That was like such a mental struggle. So we don't have to deal with that this time, which is great.
Good.
Yeah, this will be Kyle's 5th brain surgery.
Wow.
Which is insane. But this one will be minimally invasive. So that's our news. That's our life update. And so now we are going to go on our road trip. Shorter. And so we're going to enjoy some joyous things. And we're going to take you along in the next few videos of us just enjoying life before things get a little more crazy. I mean, they already are crazy, just figuring out logistics. But we're going to take a moment to go be out living it and enjoying life, because we only got one of them.
She's figuring out the logistics.
Yeah.
She's figuring out the logistics.
Yes, I am figuring out the logistics. I'm the travel agent. I'm the advocate. I'm the insurance broker. I'm the, all the things. The wife sometimes.
Yeah.
But,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting us. And if you feel called to support financially, our GoFundMe is linked. But just sharing this video, sharing our story, we'd also appreciate that. So any love and positive vibes this way, we will take.
Yeah.
We love you, and we will see you in the yes.
Yeah.
And we will see you in the next one. That'll hopefully be a little happier, a little more joyous. So we'll see you then. Bye.